Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Music Podcast once again. Happy 2024, and thank you to everybody who subscribes and watches the videos as I bring you great musicians like the two gentlemen I have here today. I have Jim Suhler and Buddy Whittington with me today. Buddy was a member of John Mayall's Bluesbreakers from 1993 to 2008. He has also had a successful solo career since 2007. Jim has been a member of George Thorogood's Delaware Destroyers since '99. He has also played in another Texas trio called Monkey Beat since 1991. And Jim has, I believe, the distinction of being the very first person to be married by the Reverend Willie G. Who is, of course, ZZ Top's Billy Gibbons. Jim and Buddy, along with another Texas-based monster guitar player named Vince Converse, are currently promoting a project they call Texas Scratch. And they have just released a self-titled record, and there it is on Quarto Valley Records. Jim, Buddy, it is a pleasure to have you guys. Thanks so much, man.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mentioned Vince and you two, three monster guitar players, all on the same record. But I want to, I hesitate to leave it there. You guys have a rhythm section on this record that is worth noting as well. Nathaniel Peterson plays bass on this record. Jeff Simon drumming on this record. Jeff, of course, with George Thorogood since '73, started that band with George, and Nathaniel Peterson, a member of Savoy Brown.
And Nathaniel has recently passed away.
Oh, really?
Just right about the time the record came out.
Okay. Now, and that leads me to another interesting thing with this record. Recorded in 2009. It has a unique history, this record. It was recorded in 2009, about 4 days, never released, but here we are, 14 years later. We get this super duper dynamic record. I mean, it's just so good. Why didn't we get it sooner?
You want to take that one, Jim?
Yeah,
I don't really have a good answer.
Well, we'd like to get an official company line that we could just recite by rote. But I think there was when it was initially done, there was an outlet, a label or an outlet for it. And at some point, the money, whoever was doing that, or the label vanished, or the money vanished, dried up. And so it basically languished. And I believe they were trying to shop it, but I don't know, what urgency they were trying to shop it over that ensuing 13-year period. 14 years, sorry. But at any rate, I know Buddy and I had kind of, I guess, given up on the album seeing the light of day. And then one day, to my surprise, earlier this year, I was scrolling through my Instagram feed and saw that the album had been released digitally. And I thought it was like, I had to check I checked like the platforms for digital music just to make sure it wasn't some kind of an April Fool's joke. But yeah, it was out. And so as somebody else said, that's a unique marketing strategy. So I was surprised. I'm sure Buddy was too, but that's a long answer to a short question.
Yeah, and that's it's a unique thing. Now you recorded it in 2009. Is there anything about that record? It sounds fantastic to me. I mean, it sounds so like, why would you not want this to sound this way? But, the musician is never done, right? So, you hear it today, it sounds great. You hear it tomorrow, you want to change something. Recorded in 2009. When you come back to this now and listen to it, how's that sound to you? Is there anything that you wanted to change? Did you change anything? Did you tweak anything?
I think it sounds pretty. I think it's pretty great sounding, just even at this point. And Jim had, when he got home, he had Sean Ferris, his keyboard player in Monkey Beat, had a few Hammond parts and maybe a vocal, a harmony vocal here and there. And I really think it sounds good. When we did it, we just jumped in Jim's van one night and drove to New Jersey from Dallas, and that was quite an experience in itself. I think we stopped in Knoxville and slept a couple of hours, but we knocked it out, the tracks out in 4 days, like you say. And the thing I remember most about being up there was that the label guy took us out to lunch and dinner a lot while we were up there, and we had a few drinks, and then we'd get up in the morning, go back in, and try it again. And like I say, the late great Ben Elliott was the engineer and producer on it, and Ben, like I say, Ben and Nathaniel are both gone now. A lot of history has a lot of things have happened in that time period. We're just happy to see it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it is, and it's great to have it. It is a special record for sure. These songs, they're your individual writing, right? How was this written? It wasn't written as a group, right? You each brought a piece of something you wrote and then did it together?
Yeah, that's accurate. I think we just everybody came in with their own songs, and we just worked them up on the spot. Created arrangements and pressed record, and we'd all been in the studio plenty of times, so that wasn't we all knew our way around. So I think we could work efficiently and quickly and productively. So yeah, that part was easy. And as Buddy said, Ben Elliott was a great engineer and just such a pleasant person, and made it easy to do our job.
Yeah, and it's beautifully produced. It sounds so, you would think you get three guitar players like you guys that with a deep pedigree and a celebrity type of thing, that it would be very difficult to arrange. There's people playing over it. Could end up a mess is what is my thought. What are you going to play on this? How do you decide who plays what parts?
Well, we try to be respectful of each other's work and stay out of everybody's way. And if somebody had one of their songs ready, to let us know and sort of show us get a chart together so we could learn the parts real quick and kind of lay it down. Like I said, it didn't take us long to do it, but that was the main thing, just making sure we didn't, like you say, step on anybody's toes, and try to let them explain what the song was, or what it was about, or what the changes were.
I mean, I would imagine that's a tough thing for the younger, more inexperienced musician. That came with your experience to bang that out that fast and decide the parts and get that all arranged, right?
Well, it was easier being a grown up. You know what I mean? Other than, because we've all been young guys and fiery and trying to get your part,
right,
out there first. But we pretty much took care to be respectful.
Yeah, and I agree with what Buddy said, and Buddy, I think it's there weren't a lot of ego trips or anything, and you listen to what's going on, and you don't play what somebody else is playing, and find a complementary part, and then just try not to overplay.
Yeah, and that's really a key. I'm so glad you said that, because I listened to this record, and there is, it's so strange to even say, there is a simplicity to it. And I find that, this kind of music thrives on simplicity usually. So when I hear that you three guys, especially, involved in this, I expected it to be busier, maybe, and it's not. It's well structured. It's really it's patient, and that's a beautiful thing. Really is.
Thank you.
You mentioned the label head, Bruce Quarto, right? He's I've had experience talking to Bruce and know Bruce from the past. Really supportive of great music, and the label has, did you get the freedoms that you wanted when you put this out? Were you asked to do anything additionally to what you have?
We were asked to sign some papers.
Yeah,
Is about all I saw.
yeah,
But we were happy to, like I say, we were ready to go with it after having waited so long,
right.
and they were being real, they made sure that we were all happy with it before they jumped any guns or anything like that. And we're really happy with it, and the promotion they put into it, it's been really good.
Yeah, it's good to hear. And we don't always get that from labels, so it's always nice to hear that supporting their acts for sure. Um, when you were putting this together, how'd the idea come up to do? Because you guys are busy with your own projects. You have these things that you take up your time. How'd the idea of doing Texas Scratch come up? How did it all come together?
Go ahead,
Uh,
Jim.
that was Arnie Goodman, New York music lover fan. I don't know how to describe Arnie.
Label owner.
Label owner. He used to own a record shop in Manhattan, New York City, or in Manhattan, or one of the boroughs. I'm not sure which one. But he had the master plan to do this, and we thought, sure, sounds like fun. I'll sign up for that. And he was sort of the liaison between the label and the band, I guess would be a way to put it.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why we did the record up there instead of in Texas, in Jersey.
Yeah. Many thanks to Arnie for giving us this, idea and the record. It wouldn't have happened without him, it sounds like. So that's pretty great. Was there an intent for the record? When you were doing it, did you just want to make great music, or was there something that you wanted to bring out when you were doing this record? What was the most important thing that you wanted to achieve with the record?
Just to have some cool tunes, I mean, we didn't really have an agenda or anything. We just wanted to go in there and make the best product we could.
And you say that, and that's what it reflects. This is a fun record. There's a lot of fun songs. I got the itch, but I ain't got the scratch. It's Louisiana Cockfight and Purple Mountain Flask. These are really fun songs to listen to, lyrically and musically. Um, how did you decide? You guys have hundreds of songs, right? Over the years, you've had,
Well, we can only wish we had hundreds of songs. So that's I can wish.
Maybe dozens.
we'll go with dozens. How do you decide on the ones to put on the record?
I guess the ones with just the ones we like best. I mean, I was going to say the ones with less on them, but that's sort of too self-deprecating. Yeah, just like, I think these are the best songs I've got right now. I don't think there was any deeper thought than that, at least for me. That's kind of what I had in the can at that point. And at least, let's see how many Showdown. One of the songs I did was probably at that time. I probably wrote that in like 97. So that was like 12 years old at the time. And I had maybe played it a handful of times with my group Monkey Beat. And then it just was put on a back burner with all the other, songs that were half baked or not fully developed, or just didn't, have staying power in the show. I mean, I may have liked the songs, but for whatever reason, they just, weren't in the show that I was doing.
Right.
So that was a good outlet for the record. And, I think Vince and Buddy played some really nice stuff on that particular song, Showdown.
Yeah. Excellent stuff.
I came in with Ain't Got the Scratch and Texas Trios. Only had those two tunes, and I decided to ask the guys if they would have any aversion to adding the Louisiana Cockfight, the John Nitzinger song from the 70s. And he was a big hero of ours and still is a big hero of mine here in Texas. He doesn't get out and play much anymore, but it was a really cool tune that he had a really good career at the time. And he was on Capitol Records. I never could figure that one out, how a guy from Fort Worth could get on the same label as the Beatles.
Right. Yeah. And that's
Blood Rock, Buddy. Blood Rock was on
Yeah.
I
Wow.
probably through that connection, and I think they were managed by Terry Knight, who managed Grand Funk. So if I'm
Yeah.
not, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Terry Knight.
also Texas, Mace Maven's band, Texas and Courtship, the band before that, they all wound up on Capitol too at the time. Try that in this day and age.
Yeah, that's it's not going to happen, right? Um, the album kicks off with Texas Trio. Uh, this is a song that makes mention of probably 24 Texas legends, right? It's a really
Yeah,
fun
that
song.
and just some good friends that that I worked with and was friendly with back in the '70s when we were all doing gigs together.
Mhm.
And we mentioned ZZ and we mentioned John Nitzinger and his band, Linda Curley and Nitz, as Curly Benton and Linda Waring, his drummer and bass player, and just some. There was a band called Black Horse here that was doing really good at the time, and we mentioned them, and just trying to find a way to kind of hat tip to those guys.
Yeah, it is. It's great to open the record with too. It's because you've got this trio going. You three guitar players are. It's just it's a great opener for this record. Um,
Thank you.
you, I see you guys as similar players, but different styles as well. How do you when you're playing? Do you feel like you're very different from each other, or do you feel like you're slightly different or much the same kind of players? And how did that play into the arrangement of the record?
Well, well, I grew up in Dallas, and Buddy grew up in Fort Worth, or in just outside of Fort Worth. And even though there's only 35 miles between the cities, there is a bigger difference in terms of the sound. I think, in general, I think the Fort Worth players have a greater command of the country licks and stuff. And I mean, the guys I saw coming up in Dallas, the rock players like Rocky Athas and folks like that, it was all rock or blues, and I just really didn't hear any country in it. But when I heard the guys in Fort Worth, they had a greater command of that, and I'm guessing that's because there were just more of those places to play over there, and it was something you liked and something that the crowds like to hear. So you develop that more. I mean, what do you think, Buddy?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people are fans of Western swing music, which that like twin parts and that Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys used to use with fiddles. I mean, we do the same thing with guitar parts where we play a harmony line with each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, don't you think like when Fleetwood Mac, early Fleetwood Mac, and Allman Brothers were doing it, a lot of the rock people were like, "Oh, this is revolutionary." But it was actually had been done for a long time in Western
Yeah,
swing.
absolutely.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, I love that mix. There is a little bit of the heavier rock, and then there's the picking and the more country feel, and the emotive, longer held notes and passionate, deeper playing. It's all here, and that's I think that's maybe because of that difference in region. It kind of comes out in the record, I think.
But yeah, I perhaps so. It's for whatever it is, it seemed to gel well together, and I certainly love and respect what Buddy does. He does things I can't do, and so I mean,
And vice versa.
I just stand back and watch, and when he finishes his solo, I'm like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do?
No,
Go sit. Anyway, so I think they can complement each other well.
And they do on this record for sure. It is a fun, like I said, it is a fun record to listen to both lyrically and musically. It's a circus of definitely guitar work here.
It's a circus, all right.
And you two main clowns with you right here.
I love it. I love it. Will we hear more from you guys? That's the big question, I guess. This was 2009. You guys still have your own thing. Probably busier than hell, right? Will we get more music? Will you write for Texas Scratch?
Well, hopefully we can get out and do some gigs with what we've got going now, while the album has a little impetus behind it, and we haven't been able to do anything with Vince because he's moved off to Denver. And
Denver?
Jim and I have done a couple of shows together to put the songs forward, and had pretty good luck with it. We got a couple more coming up. At some point, we'd like to get Jeff, involved on playing drums and go out and play some real gigs, maybe a string of gigs at some point, hopefully, and we'll see how it goes, and see if there's anything left to follow it. I hope so.
I can't see how there wouldn't be. If anybody who listens to this record is going to be very, very pleased, no doubt. We'd love to see you for sure. Denver, that's not in Texas.
He was from Houston, and lived in Houston for the longest time, and has relocated. I don't know when he did, but I haven't seen him, and I don't guess I've seen him since we did the album.
I've seen him when I've gone through there with Thorogood. He'll come out. I think that he opened the show once. We were I think in Littleton, outside of Denver. He lived in South Dakota for a while as well. So yeah, he's all over the place.
Wow.
But he's doing well up there. He's got a band, and I think they're working a lot.
Great. Yeah, it's a beautiful place too. I thought, when I thought about touring and seeing you guys out playing, I thought about that G3 tour that the heavier guys did, like Satriani, and I think Mayall did it. So you could have kind of a blues G3 thing. That was exciting to me, thinking about that. You guys all on the same stage and playing these songs. Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, it's great that you're thinking about that. I got one more for you, and this is you guys have been doing this a long time. You're pros, and that's a special thing. And I think that's where every young player kind of wants to be, is make a career out of this and the longevity. What would you tell the young player out there? How, you guys have been doing this a long time with great success. How does that happen? What do you need? Is there a secret to that, secret recipe to that?
Well, I guess if you love it and you want to do it, you'll find a way. Just be prepared for rejection, failed relationships, disappointments, countless disappointments. You have to have thick skin. That helps a lot, because you get told no a lot. But as I said, if it's something you feel like compelled to do, like you're driven to do it, you're going to do it, and you'll figure the rest out. I didn't have a safety net. I mean, I didn't have something to fall back on. So that made me work harder, because I knew I didn't have that there. So, I just make sure that it's still fun and you have a passion for it, and would be my advice.
Excellent. Buddy?
It's a lot easier when you don't know how to do anything else too, I've tried a couple of I had an electronics career for a couple of years way back, but I've been playing in one form of a band or another since probably, I don't know, 1980 or so, 82, something like that. Making music for a living exclusively.
Yep.
And hopefully, I don't know how much more time we got left, but I hope I can stay with it the rest of the way.
Yeah, and it's great to have you. It's really, really a special thing, and I thank you. I thank you for the music, and I thank you for everything you've given to, especially to this genre of blues. It's it's ever evolving. It's been there. Traditionally, it really gives birth to so much different music. And you've stayed with that progression, and brought it further into the future. And I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate having an outlet for somebody to make it a little more available. Sure appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You got it. You got it. Yeah. Please, if you're doing another record, if you're got a tour coming up, door's always open. I'd love to have you back.
Thanks,
Awesome.
brother.
All right. Take care, guys. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.